welcome to the Back to Basics channel. I'm Neecy, one of your weekly vloggers. This week we're talking about mindfulness, and I don't know that I have a whole lot to say that you haven't heard before, but I'll share what I do know about it. I actually, as part of my preparation pre-operative to the weight loss surgery, took a course. It was a 6 weeks, once a week class that was basically focusing on changing cognitive behavior around food and how it relates to our emotional state. And I think for me, not only within sort of the lifestyle changes we make around the weight loss surgery, but in life in general, being mindful is key to success in everything that we do. From a weight loss perspective, I think a great many people use food as an emotional crutch. And so when we're happy, we eat. When we're sad, we're eating. When we're angry, we're eating. And so this class focused a lot on what the emotional triggers were to our eating and paying attention to that. So there were weekly exercises where they wanted us to actually focus on hunger, for instance. So being mindful of what feeling hungry feels like. Do you know what that's like? And I know I've talked about that a little bit before in my video, because if you further down the road have fallen into the habit of grazing, do you actually know what it feels like to be hungry? If you're nibbling on something every hour or every hour and a half, you may have forgotten what it actually feels like to be hungry. So just paying attention to our body. The other thing that I know for myself post-op, that's a physical reminder to myself, and my whole family knows about it, because as soon as I sneeze at mealtime, they'll all look at me and say, "Oh, you're full, you're done eating." And it's true. Like, that's one of my physical cues, is that I can feel the little twitch in my nose, and I know it's time to stop eating because I'm full. So it's being mindful of those body cues. Are you hungry? And if you can't actually say yes, if you're not sure, then you're probably not hungry, right? Pardon me. Being mindful of the types of foods that we eat. So preoperatively, chances are you were not focusing on necessarily eating really clean and healthy. And it's really important for us to not slide back into eating those foods on a regular basis that are not good for us. Now, I don't mean that 100% of the time, 365 days a year, you're going to always focus on dense protein first, then your veggies, and then your carbs. But I believe strongly in the 80-20 rule. So I think that if you follow that rule of thumb 80% of the time, you're going to be successful. Now, I enjoy a glass of wine just like anybody else does. That's empty calories, big time. But as long as you're aware of what you're doing and when you're doing it, being mindful of the times that you are straying from what your normal eating patterns are, I think you'll be okay. It's, again, just being aware of what you're doing and why you're doing it. Even as far as comfort eating goes, you know, I don't think that there's anything wrong with doing a little bit of comfort eating. In a class that I've done recently, the way it was spelled out was like, so comfort eating is okay if you have 1 or 2 chocolates. So you set them out, you consciously recognize that you're eating this for comfort, you enjoy that chocolate or those 2 chocolates. Not being mindful would be sitting down with the whole box of chocolates and just mowing through them without ever analyzing why you're doing it. So along with allowing yourself to have that 1 or 2 bites for comfort, you need to recognize what you're getting comfort for. Like, are you feeling sad? Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling whatever, right? And that leads you directly to being mindful of those triggers. For myself, I know if I'm not getting enough rest, sometimes work gets really crazy and I'm putting a lot of long hours in. I want carbs. I want carbs. I want carbs. I want carbs. And I need to recognize that and make sure that I have healthy alternatives in the house when I'm working till midnight, 1 o'clock to chew on. So celery sticks and cucumbers and things like that that are empty calories, because at that point in the day I've had my protein and I've likely had my calories. So uh, I know that if I'm going to be pulling one of my days when I'm working till 1, 2, or 3 in the morning, I'm probably going to be snacking. So I want to make sure that I have something in the house that will meet that need and allow me to not, chew down a package of crackers or, 10 cookies or whatever the heck it is. So again, being mindful of what you're doing and why you're doing it will give you the ability to then control it. So you're not this out of control train careening off the tracks, right? And I think that speaks as well to other parts of our lives. So we may turn to food for comfort, but after we've had weight loss surgery, we may switch that to other things. So maybe you're working extraordinarily long hours. Do you really need to be working those long hours, or what are you avoiding, right? And so, it's all tied to the emotional. Um, and again, I'm somebody who's big on journaling, and when I don't journal every day all the time, but when I'm trying to work through something or figure something out, there's just something about writing it down that gives me clarity. And if I have to actually record it, describe what I'm feeling, what I'm doing, when I did it, why I did it, it just really helps me moving forward to being more mindful of those things. And yeah. Oh, excuse me. So I think that's about all I want to say about mindfulness. I hope some of that's helpful. I'm supposed to be setting a weekly goal, and I haven't even thought about that for this week. I have some social events coming up, Christmas-wise, several get-togethers. I have company coming up for the weekend and stuff. So I think my goal for the next week is going to be, what is it going to be? No, it's not going to be food related. I don't want it to be food related. I don't know. What should my goal be, folks? Okay, my goal for this week, I haven't thought about it a lot, but I think actually what I'm going to focus on, because I'm post-op my abdominoplasty, and I don't know if I mentioned that last week, I had abdominoplasty in October and had some, the center of my incision has been a little bit reluctant to heal over completely. So although I've been walking on my treadmill since about week 3, 30 minutes a day, and then in the last week and a half, 60 minutes most days, my goal for the next week is to get in 2 miles a day. Because I wasn't focused on speed. I haven't had my speed up because the tape pulls on the incision and stuff like that. Not a lot of pain and stuff, but it's just uncomfortable, and I guess I've been kind of pampering myself a little bit. So it's time to get off my princess perch and get at it. So that's my goal. I want to do 2 miles a day, at least 6 days in the next week. I hope that you're all taking care of yourselves. I hope that you're taking care of each other, and I hope you make a great day. Bye now.